Yeah, we got preseason football action tonight. It's the only kind of Thursday night football I like is when it's preseason football. Eagles, Bengals. Well, some don't care. I'm hyped. I'm excited. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the who, the what we're looking for, what we're excited for. And then the Phillies. They failed to close out the sweep of the Baltimore Orioles last night. But do we have a pitching problem in Philadelphia? Ranger Suarez struggling again, second half of the season. Zack Wheeler arm issues. Yikes. A little worried. Trending in the AM, we are live, taking your thoughts and opinions on all this and anything else in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We're live, YouTube, Twitter, as we are every single morning. Please, wherever you're watching, please hit that like button. Please hit that share button. Of course, subscribe. Sitting at 563 as we get today underway. So please like, share, subscribe. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. And as always, we got a jam-packed show with lots to talk about today because football is back, baby. There is preseason. But it's still preseason. It's football. So we get to watch our Eagles do battle against the Bengals tonight down in South Philly. So we're going to talk about who we're looking forward to watching, who should play, who shouldn't play, who's got something to prove, some of the key positions that I'm looking at tonight. We're going to talk all about that. We're going to see what continue the conversation of who should even play and not, knowing that the Bengals are going to be playing their starters tonight. So there's lots of Eagles football on the docket. I don't care. I know people say, I'm not going to watch. It's just preseason. I'm a junkie. I'm a degenerate. I love football. So give me preseason Eagles football, regular season, Super Bowl, whatever. I'm not missing a play. We're going to be watching it right here live on this channel tonight. So make sure you stay tuned. So we're going to talk that Phillies yesterday afternoon lose to the Orioles. Not the big story of the day. The big story out of the Phillies camp yesterday is Zack Wheeler's next start has been pushed off a few days as he is experiencing some arm soreness. Now his MRIs have come back clean. But today's poll question of the day, how concerned are you with the reports on Zack Wheeler? Very concerned, mildly concerned. He's fine. And for fun, you worry too much. Are you concerned about the story on Zack Wheeler's arm? Put a lot of innings out there. And coupling that with Ranger Suarez continuing his third year in a row of having second half struggles, do we have a pitching problem with the Philadelphia Phillies? I'm concerned. I would say mildly to very, maybe a 7 out of 10 right now on the concern meter. Would be shocked. I prefer them just shut him down for like 2 weeks, but we'll get into that as well. Lots to talk about. Eagles, Phillies, right off the bat, a bunch of comments from Rick. Good morning to you, my man. That's right. Fly, Eagles, fly. Go Birds. It is Eagles 24/7 in my world. I mean, I love my Phillies. I love my Sixers and Flyers. Let me tell you something. When it's Eagles, it's Eagles. That's it. This is the march to get another one of these Super Bowl champion t-shirts. Begins today. Today starts. We will have an Eagles football. We have, outside of the bye week, every week from today, through us winning the Super Bowl, we will have football every week but one. And I love it. I'm all for it. Put it in my veins, right? It's the time of year where pitchers get tired. Baseball season is too long. Well, I definitely agree where it's too long for sure. And Zack Wheeler, I'm slightly concerned because he's put a lot of innings. I mean, 200 innings last year, 192 the year before that, a couple years before that, 213. He was already over at 140 innings this year. It's a concern, of course. Good morning, Steven Fuentes. Go Birds. That's right. Fly, Eagles, fly. Where's my man Marshawn? We need him to say, line that shit up and knock it down. Because that's how I feel. And I know it's just a preseason game. And preseason games aren't good football normally. But there's so much to learn about this new Eagles team. So many players with so much on the line tonight and next week against the Browns that it's fun. These guys are fighting for their careers, fighting for their opportunities, fighting for a spot on the defending Super Bowl roster. To learn from these great players. Preseason games are meaningful. Now, I'm glad they cut it from 4 to 3. I think 2 would be fine. They would never completely eliminate the preseason. This is where the third stringers get their opportunities. This is where the Kyle McCords of the world, the Darius Coopers of the world, the Maxim Hooks of the world. This is where they get their opportunities to get tape on film. So other people could see them. So they could show what they could do. So it is, in my opinion, it's very important in that aspect. Plus, again, we haven't seen football since we won the Super Bowl. We need football. And there's a lot of really intriguing battles, conversations, eyes on players to have tonight for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Bengals are playing their starters for a little bit tonight. The Eagles have not announced it yet. But the last 2 years, Nick Sirianni did not play a single key contributor in preseason games. And I fully expect that to continue tonight. I do not expect the Eagles to play any of the big name players. A.J. Brown's obviously hurt, and so is Zach Vaughn. Not concerning, but they're out. I wouldn't expect Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith's missed time, Dallas Goedert, that entire offensive line. You're not going to see them tonight. Defensively, you're not going to see Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis tonight. Why would you? But there are key players that are expected to have roles that we will. It's only preseason, but I like it. I love it. Put it in my veins. It's football. It's the Philadelphia Eagles. How can anyone say they don't care and they're going to skip it? You got to at the very least, you got to watch the first half of this game tonight. Yeah, it's an Aya Smith season. No, it's Darius Cooper's season. Wide receiver, to me, is a great reason to watch tonight. Some love Aya Smith, some don't. Some love Johnny Wilson, some don't. You got Terrace. I just learned yesterday that it's not Terrence, it's Terrace Marshall. There's no N in Terrence Marshall. It's Elijah Cooper. It's Darius Cooper. There's 5 wide receivers, 4 and Cooper, that are fighting for 2 spots. And tonight's Ignite, where we're going to start to see who separates himself in a game format from the rest. Now, I think Anias Smith and Johnny Wilson still hold a slight edge because they're the draft picks. They're the guys Howie spent draft capital on. But Marshall, Cooks, and Cooper are all in practice shining every day and making a case for them. Tonight with Tanner McKee, the future Tom Brady of the NFL, according to some, throwing to them in a real meaningful game, especially if the Bengals have their number 1 defense out there. They can make a play. They can make a play or two. They can turn heads. And he's like, maybe. Going to be watching Miles Hinton closely. He's having a good camp. Son of a great offensive lineman, probably the future replacement for Lane. Yeah, I'm going to be watching the offensive line a lot. Look, let's be honest with the offensive line for a second. I know we think the offensive line is great, but Cam Jurgens is coming off of a back injury that cost him time last year, and he had to have surgery. And Landon Dickerson got hurt last year as well. Both of them fought through the pain in the Super Bowl. That's great. But both those guys had injury concerns coming into the season. Lane Johnson's getting older, like you said. We might have one of his. There's a couple guys that could be the Lane Johnson replacement. But Lane Johnson's missed a couple games each of the last couple years. Jordan Mailata missed time last year. And Tyler Steen hasn't proven anything in meaningful moments yet. So Howie Roseman has a tendency. Where did I put my list? Oh, it's on Google. I can't pull it up right now. He's kept anywhere from 9 to 11 offensive linemen to start the season. The last couple years, only 9, though, on the initial 53. I expect them to keep 10 offensive linemen this year because they've got to be prepared for one of these guys to go down or not perform. And who are they going to be? Right now, Miles Hinton is listed as a third stringer right now behind Kendall Lamb, but he could push Kendall Lamb for that spot. Brett Toth, Matt Pryor, Drew Kendall, all those guys fighting for the backup center role. I'm going to be paying attention to who does well and who doesn't. Offensive line, there's not a battle, so to speak, for a starter, but there's battles for that 8th, 9th, 10th spot on the roster. Preseason money grab. It is a money grab in the sense where you've got to, as a season ticket holder, you have to purchase the tickets. But outside of that, it's important for those second, third, fourth stringers. Important for them to get some game action. Tanner McKee to keep himself sharp. Because if Jalen Hurts gets hurt in week 12, he's at least got some game action this year. It's very important for a lot of people. Preseason has a ton of drama, men fighting for their lives. Exactly. You don't want to be a practice squatter. You don't want to have to go to the UFL. You don't want to have to go to the IFL. You don't want to go to Europe, play for pennies. You want to make the roster. You want that paycheck. That paycheck, that's fighting for your lives. Being a third stringer on the field, being the 50th man on the roster is a lot more valuable than being a UFL starter. Most likely. I'm assuming that. I would have corrected you on Terrace yesterday, but it would have been rubbing salt. Well, Bill Berge's son, Nate Berge, corrected me on Twitter yesterday about this. I've been saying Terrence Marshall all year long, or all offseason long. I had no clue, and nobody's picked up on it till yesterday. What? Powell, a solid young running back. He is definitely having a good camp. I'm seeing a lot of people. I think he's definitely a practice squad guy. I think it would be a massive long shot for him to make the roster because I think the roster's set with Saquon, obviously, Shipley, obviously, A.J. Dillon, for the most part, most likely, and Ben Van Sumeren as the fullback. There's no room on the roster unless someone gets hurt. But, yeah, he's having a great camp so far, and he's going to get an opportunity to show what he's capable of doing in a game. This gets him tape on film. If he doesn't want to be a practice squatter, if he wants a shot to start, people are going to see what he's got. Tyler Steen got some nice praise from Stoutland this year. Oh, he's already penciled in. He's the starter. He won't even play tonight, Rick. He's gotten praise from Stoutland, from Jalen Carter, from a lot of guys over the last 2 weeks. Tyler Steen's done. I mean, they didn't say he's the starter, but they basically said he was the starter already. So that job, barring an injury like he had last year in camp, pencil Tyler Steen in. It's a done job. That competition for the starting right guard is long over now. You don't have your list written down. It's on Google, and I'm scared to open other tabs because I've been having trouble with the computer lately. What are we watching for? We're watching for wide receiver, 4, 5, 6. We're watching your favorite position to talk about the Eagles, the edge position tonight. Uche, Ojulari, Antoine Powell-Ryland, Patrick Johnson, Double O's, Mathis. Uche has started to shine the most this past week or so. But for the most part, behind Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt, you've got a lot of question marks. Who can do everything that Vic Fangio needs? Not just rush the passers and edge. Stop the run. Drop into coverage. All the things that Vic Fangio wants you to do as an end or an edge guy on this team. There's a lot of question marks. I'm going to be watching how these guys don't rush the passer, but how they stop the run. How they, when they're asked to drop into coverage, how they do cover in a tight end. That's what I'm watching for tonight on the defense as a big thing. It is game day, and that's great. We'll be live tonight. I won't correct you. Release the list. I've already done the list. Done all lists. I don't hold any lists. Release the names. What names? No, definitely not. I wouldn't be disappointed if my son named his first petty own. Yeah, is that right? Preseason is like putting $1 million in a briefcase in the middle of the room with 15 athletes battling for it. That's a fair way to describe it. People are fighting for their careers and their lives. Some guys play in the preseason and never get played. Nowadays, this probably doesn't happen because you've got like a lot of options for a lot of options for young athletes to extend their playing career. There's like 5 indoor football leagues. You got Europe. You've got multiple leagues in Europe now. You obviously got the UFL or the UFL or whatever it's called. So there's options for these guys now. And of course, the Canadian Football League. But yeah, they all want to be in the NFL. I don't even want to try to say the names. Uche, 20 and a half sacks in 60 games. He has a chance to be a solid rotation guy, and you know where he went to college. Look, he does. And before the camp opened, I had Ujulari over Uche. Something about Uche being a healthy scratch in the Super Bowl, like a, what's his name? Bryce Huff last year, concerned me. But so far in camp, it's Uche that's impressing the coaches. Uche who's impressing the beat reporters the most, not Ojulari. So I think there's a chance that he's the third guy. And tonight's a night he can prove he's the third guy. You got Double O, Okur, Anakwo, whatever his name is. He's shown some decent stuff in camp so far since we brought him over. Not very good against the rush, but very good at rushing the passer. Obviously, we all have a lot of hype and hope for Antoine Powell-Ryland eventually, but he hasn't done much yet. Patrick Johnson, I mean, he's been a fringe player for a couple years here. There's a lot of guys. You only have 2 semi-for-sure things in Nolan Smith and Jalen Sun. The other guys are all going to prove something tonight. Absolutely, and he should play with a chip on his shoulder, Nooms. When you get scratched healthy-wise for the Super Bowl, that should piss you off, right? That should definitely piss you off. It should do the same thing for Bryce Huff, with him. Good. I bash the UFL. I do. Because it's fun to do it, because it annoys you. But the UFL is good for football. It's good for athletes. It's good to have as a pipeline. I think I saw before camps open, there was at least 15 UFL players on training camp rosters. That's good. That's what it should be, right? A way to get these guys another chance, get them a chance to shine, and then get another chance in the NFL. Before all these leagues started opening up, once you're done in training camp, if you didn't make a practice squad, your career was over till the next year of training camp. There's no way for you to get better. Having guys making the decision hard is a great problem. Absolutely. You want Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni, Vic Fangio, Kevin Patullo to be in a room in a couple of weeks and be like, this is a tough call. Do we go this guy or that guy? You want them to be sitting there, a little wrecking their brains like, I don't know which way to go. Dude, he is absolutely the new Aqua Bowman. I'm just calling him Double O. When I say Double O, this one has to be, this is what I'm talking about. Agbonia Akarakwo. I don't even know if I'm even remotely close on that one. I don't hate the UFL, but I just can't invest the time. Yeah, I also, it's more a time commitment for real for me. We commit so much time to the NFL. Then once the NFL season's over, we got to give our lives back to our wives and our work and our jobs and stuff like that. So, yeah, I just don't commit to another football league. But I'm sure there's good football players in it. I watched a little bit of the IFL years ago when I used to have a relationship with some of the agents to help promote some of their players. It was fun to watch it. Aqua just signed? Really? Good. Good for him. Wait for it to grow, Al. And good. And you know what? I bash the UFL, but it's great. The UFL is exactly what the preseason is, too. Opportunities. But right now, the opportunities that I'm looking for are the guys on the Eagles roster right now. Again, I'm so hyped about the edge rush pit battle that's going to go on and the backup wide receiver battle that's going to go on tonight. We know what Tanner McKee is. Potentially a great young backup quarterback. But what about Kyle McCord and DTR? They're going to get opportunities tonight. One of them is going to be the third-string quarterback. The other one's going to need to show what he could do to latch on elsewhere. Or maybe Howie Roseman dangles a DTR if he plays well tonight in a trade. There's so much on the line for these guys, and I'm excited about it. You can commit time to, yeah. I love the USFL so much back in the day. It was even better than the NFL. Back in the day, yeah, we're talking, that's a long time ago, Anthony. You're a degenerate when you find yourself watching the CFL. I've watched a few times. I got a couple friends that live up in Canada, and they love their UFL, so I'll watch it for them occasionally. I hope it grows. Yeah, I hope all football grows. Good morning, Jonathan. How you doing? Very concerned about Wheeler's arm. Eagles edge guys, double O, Uche give me a good vibe to be eyebrow raising. Yeah, we're going to get into this Zack Wheeler thing as the show goes on. I am majorly concerned about Zack Wheeler's arm pushing his start back. I know his MRI or whatever he had came back clean. But man, he's got a lot of mileage on that arm. And he's starting to get concerned or hurt and sore. Very, very concerned. Along with the fact that Ranger Suarez is into his typical second half slump. I'll say this about Zack Wheeler. They pushed his start back 2 days. He was supposed to pitch tomorrow night, said he's going to pitch Sunday. Whatever. To me, I'm sending him on the injured list, sitting him on the injured list, giving him 2 weeks, and calling Andrew Painter up. And then when Aaron Nola comes up, I think they said Aaron Nola needs one more start. He could come up as well. I'm giving Zack Wheeler a 2-week break, if it was me. Hopefully Campbell will play tonight. I think Campbell will play tonight. Vic Fangio's been very adamant about how he needs to get better, eliminate the negative plays. He makes a lot of great plays, but negative ones as well. He's going to play tonight in the middle. I don't expect him to start, actually, even, which is weird. Like, I expect him to be the second. I expect Trotter Jr. Actually, no, he might start. I don't think Smile Mondin would start over him. I expect Trot Jr. and Campbell to start with Mondin mixed in the middle. Tonight's a big night for linebackers because we would just have assumed that Jihaad Campbell, if healthy, would be the starter. But Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is having a phenomenal training camp. Smile Mondin's having a great camp. We're actually deep. We have 4 guys that can start at linebacker right now. Zach Bond won't even touch the field till September 4th. Big night to see who's going to start with Zach Bond. I want to see Campbell start in the middle and at some point slide to the outside to rush the passer. There have been some concerns about Campbell in coverage against running backs and tight ends. He's made a couple good plays, but gotten beat quite a few more. I want to see Campbell in coverage tonight. I mean, the Bengals are going to be rolling out there their starters for a little while. I want to see him guarding Chase Brown, or I don't even know who the Bengals tight end is. Campbell will play some. He needs the rest. He absolutely. I would like to see Campbell out there for a majority of the first half, defensively speaking. Give me a half a football of him. Why not? It's mildly concerning, but this is typical this time of year. I know it is. But when it's Zack Wheeler, it makes you concerned a little bit more. It will be a good day when the NFL lends their practice squad third quarterback to the UFL for spring. That would be a fantastic thing, honestly. 100% agree with this. It should be a pipeline, a more direct pipeline. It should be like the G League in basketball. Unfortunately, you can't run the UFL at the same time as the NFL. Or if you can find a way to do that, then that would be great. But it needs to take on a more of a G League type role. ESPN has been saying that McCord has a better arm than McKee. Hopefully McCord will look better and they can trade McKee. They're not trading Tanner McKee, Anthony, no matter what. Kyle McCord could throw for 400 yards in the fourth quarter tonight. They are not trading Tanner McKee. Not at this point, unless somebody blows them away with an offer. You need somebody that's proven, and Tanner McKee has played in the NFL. He's gotten a start. He's plenty of good time in the preseason. The McKeesters, see, I'm even on the McKeester side. But you can have him play well, McCord, and trade DTR or get rid of DTR. This is the time of year starting pitchers get tired. It's normal around the league. Baseball season too long. It is too long, for sure. But it still gets me concerned. It still makes me worry. Honestly, it was a mismatch for Spags. GM not on the same page as the DC. Spags asked for 4-3 run support. Uche asked more to rush from wide 9 on a rotation, occasional pass rush. Okay, so that's a possibility. But he's going to be asked to do more here than just rush the passer. What is the UFL approaching Earth? Yeah, I don't know. I think the Earth is a globe. Dude, what? Stop. You have the weirdest chat talk. Yeah, stop talking. Like, he literally has the weirdest chat talk on a regular basis. Arm has never been the issue with McCord. Exactly. Let's not make this all about bashing or loving Kyle McCord. I agree with you, Phil, about your plan for Wheeler, the idea for Painter. Hopefully, see, like, Andrew Painter's on a pitch limit. Andrew Painter should get used now, not out of the bullpen, to give these guys like Ranger and Zack Wheeler a break. So you call up Andrew Painter right now. You give Zack Wheeler 2 weeks off. Then when Zack Wheeler comes back, you give Ranger Suarez 2 weeks off. And then once the season ends, Painter's back to just nothing. End of season. Aaron Nola could take over for Taijuan Walker or Jesus Luzardo when he's ready. Use Andrew Painter to give these other pitchers a blow. Why not? Bad batch of gummies. What? Someone is spamming the chats for the number one. It's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. Wheeler has the forearm a few years back, and he wound up okay. That's true. I mean, hey, Rick. I got your back on him in a sense of that. I'm not getting rid of him either. He cracked the code. He did. I'm looking forward to McCord. I am too. I am. There's literally a UFO approaching Earth. Yeah, it's like in 2031. All right, now let's not worry about it. Let's not worry about it. If there is, we'll go live for it. Okay. David Robinson has more work to do. He pitched well last night. Nola was iffy, but he pitched okay yesterday. I think I saw someone tweet out that it was his best outing since he came to Philly. Wheeler will be fine. Are you so sure about that? Are you 110% sure about that, Rick? And what harm can giving the guy an extra 2 weeks off do? I mean, we've got 6-7 weeks left of the season. How many games do the Phillies even have left? I don't even know. They've played 114 games, so 112 would be 50, 48. So about 45, 48 games left. About 7 weeks of games. Still only 7. I'm assuming you're talking about likes. Yeah, so please, guys, hit that like button. There's over a dozen of you watching right now. If you haven't hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, and vote on our poll question. The Lions need a Tanner McKee because their backups don't look good. Tanner's a great backup. Eagles have and hope he stays with Birds at least. He's not going anywhere. Tanner McKee's not getting traded. Unless someone comes and offers you a massive haul, he ain't going anywhere. Now, you could see the Eagles maybe make a trade of DTR. Maybe Kyle McCord. Probably not. Team like the Rams, Matthew Stafford, we don't know what's going on with his back. Jimmy Garoppolo's their backup. Maybe they need a backup to Jimmy Garoppolo. Maybe they bring him in. I don't know. I'm spitfiring here. Tanner McKee's not getting traded. Yeah, I'm not even going to, whatever. Yeah, nobody probably is. But I mean, I just read about it this morning in an article that maybe if he plays really well, I mean, he does have NFL experience. He has started a handful of games in the NFL. Not well, but he has. Yeah. The Steelers already have, 7 4-string. I think DTR could go to the Steelers and just become, no, not the Steelers. I was thinking the Cleveland Browns. Sorry. I think he could go to the Cleveland Browns and be the starter instantly. Stop. Painter, for the first time in a while, at least in my eyes, was concerning. It didn't look like he was just working on command this time. He may benefit from a shock to the system. Maybe. Hurts gets injured, McKee will win us a Super Bowl. I know, you've said that like 300 times. And you're always the one, Rick, about don't put negative thoughts into the world. Keep it positive. Saying this is putting a negative thought that Jalen Hurts is going to get hurt into the world. You're always like, if you be negative, negative things will happen. This is getting negative by saying if Hurts gets hurt. I mean, yeah, I know you followed up with the compliment sandwich. Well, McKee will be fine. But you're putting negative thoughts into the world. Stop with the negative thoughts. Pickett is on the Browns. Browns only have 9 quarterbacks. They could definitely use another. Exactly. I mean, they have 9 4-string. I mean, let's be honest. The Cleveland Browns have Kenny Pickett and a bunch of 4-string guys. It's kind of comical. There could be an alien invasion and would still care. Absolutely. 100%. Positive thought is, yeah, I know, but you're putting a negative thought that Jalen Hurts could get hurt. So yeah, you're doing it with the compliment sandwich style here, but you're still putting something negative out there. So I'm calling you out for the negative thought. Did someone say positive? Yes, I did. Kyle Lowry is still here. That's a positive, right? Kyle Lowry's a great leader. It's going to be great for the young players on this team. He's like a player coach, Mitchie Poo. Yay! Here we go with the chat things not showing up again. There we go. Hurts has a compact body type. He won't get hurt. Well, he's gotten hurt pretty much every year. I know. The Sixers seem to be creeping their way into the conversation, and they did announce officially that the black jerseys from 2000, 2001 will get worn this year. Cool, I guess. Will Watson, what? Deshaun Watson? Oh, I don't know. I don't even know what Deshaun Watson's doing. Oh, what's going on with him? Painter in a game against garbage opponent at a home game. Sure. Why not? Gives Zack Wheeler a day off. Why not? It's bad juju, exactly. No bad juju in this world. Guys, we're a half hour through. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, that subscribe, share button, vote on the poll. How concerned are you about Zack Wheeler's arm? Stop. 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 That's the most laughable thing you've said. That you're probably going to follow it up with they're following a parallel line with the Phillies and the Eagles. Is that what you're going to say next? There ain't no chance. Joel Embiid probably won't even wear one of those black Sixers jerseys this year. Paul George, he might think about it, but probably won't. I could show you Watson live cam, but it's, oh my God, stop. Why are we torturing Phil with, I don't know. I mean, we are at the precipice of the first football game of the year, and people are dropping Sixers chat. Like, what is wrong with people? I'd rather talk about Kyle McCord versus Tanner McKee than anything Sixers related. It's not cool at all. Wheeler wins MVP of the World Series this year. How often is it a pitcher that wins the MVP? I mean, Zack Wheeler to win it would have to have two at least really good outings, maybe a third. He'd probably have to pitch 3 games for that to happen, right? I'm trying to think. The Diamondbacks, I'm thinking either Kurt Schilling or Randy Johnson did, but they both pitched in Game 7 for a third outing. That was way back in the day. I'm trying to think of who normally wins the MVP. Like, we know the quarterback always wins the MVP in the Super Bowl, almost always. Yeah, somebody took something. What about Wu-Tang? It's Maxey, McCain, Edgecombe's team now. Forget about Embiid and George. Oh, Maxey, McCain, Edgecombe aren't getting you to the 4 seat. Cole Hamels won MVP of the NLCS. Yeah, why did I forget about Cole Hamels? Duh. That's a slip for me there. I blame Mitchie Poo makes cameo to mention Sixers and vanishes. Yeah. I mean, he just comes in, he says something stupid about Kyle Lowry, and then he dips. Plain and simple. He helps the algorithm for like 3 seconds. Crawford is so consistent night in, night out. He didn't run out a ground ball last night, a bunk ground ball. He's on my shit list now. I'm just kidding with you. That was a freaking hell of a that punt from last night. That bunt last night. Like literally 2 feet foul before it curved back into fair territory. Ridiculous. 4 more games to the Phillies win 69. Is that what we're worried about? 6 more subscribers, right? I want to see Phil's way too early depth chart. We did that a few weeks ago. We'll update it after tonight's game, and on Monday we'll do the updated post-1 preseason game depth chart, okay? I've already started tweaking it a little bit, okay? We will update the depth chart after the preseason game tonight. Mitchie Poo is the effing man. He is. I love Mitchie Poo. Maybe they want Crawford to hit 375 consistent. Maybe 380, something like that. That's how he'll get onto the roster. Fire plan, of course. Mitch, I got to get you on my podcast. Phil's already tweaking. What? I'm tweaking. I'm not tweaking. What? Good morning, Adam. How you doing, my man? Hope you are well this morning. Hope you are well. Hope everybody is well. We got lots happening talking this Eagles. Another thing tonight that we are watching for in this Philadelphia Eagles preseason game is, there's only 8 likes on this video. What are you guys doing? There's 15 of you watching, and there's only 8 likes. That means some of you guys are obviously not doing your job, obviously not clicking that like button. There's 8 likes, and I see 14 of you in the YouTube room right now. So please, do it. Sidney Brown. I don't expect Drew McCuba to play because of his injury. But Sidney Brown, and I guess to an extent Tristan McCullum, the safety room tonight. I mean, the secondary in general with Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson. The safety room tonight. We need to see a solid 2 to 3 quarters of Sidney Brown play tonight for me to feel confident that Sidney Brown has grown as a football player, which is a concern. Tonight's the night where we find out if Howie Roseman has to call Justin Simmons' agent and be like, get into camp now. Tonight's a big night for Sidney Brown and the Eagles secondary. Do we need Justin Simmons? We learned that tonight. Well, we learned a little bit more about that tonight. Does it? I mean, Jacorian Bennett isn't going to play tonight. The new draft, the new tradee, the Eagles added. This is the last chance of him not being a part of the rotation at practice. It's a night for Adoree Jackson or Keely Ringo to grab that starting cornerback job. Big, big night right there. Why don't you go on Beerman Show? Because it's too late at night for me. He doesn't start till 10 o'clock at night. And I got up at 6:30 in the morning. I can't be up till 11 o'clock doing a show. Then it takes an hour to go to sleep after that. I can't be up till 12 plus o'clock at night. Not happening. Flyers and Sixers season's right around the corner. It really is, honestly. Won't be thought of, but Wheeler should be used as a bullpen piece for the 7th, 8th inning setup. That's not a strange idea to make him effective. No, Zack Wheeler, no, that's Zack Wheeler ain't a reliever. Zack Wheeler's your starter. So yeah. So do it like the Emperor. What? Rick, I am game. Yeah, okay. Sid Brown going to be a starting safety on this team this season. He's going to be most likely. But will he be a good one or not? We don't know. Do they need to bring somebody else in or not? We don't know. I mean, this is his 3rd year here as well. And I know he's been hampered by injuries. But he hasn't done anything to differentiate himself when on the field the last couple of years. Does he learn how to throttle down when necessary? I absolutely agree that Justin Simmons' ship has sailed. I fully agree. He hasn't been signed yet in the last 2 years to the Eagles. Most likely he won't. It's just the only name I know off the top of my head because Blackman and the other one, the other free agent safety had already signed. It's the only free agent safety that I know of off the top of my head. At what point do the media just all call bullshit on the Sixers and not see? I mean, they got to call bullshit in a nice way, though. All right? You can't go about it the way that Marcus Haystack, that shit show guy, did it by bringing in his dead brother and stuff like that into the equation. Like, there's calling it out for what it is. There's doing it the wrong way. So they can call it out, but they got to do it the right way. Yes, Adam, the open practice did sell out, which is great because a lot of money being raised for Eagles autism, which that gives me a great segue, but also it brings in the assholes of the world that are buying these $10 tickets online and then putting them on StubHub for $60, $70. And I guarantee the profit they make on their tickets, they ain't donating them to Eagles autism. And that's what pisses me off, that these tickets are getting bought up by these ticket sites and resold. I get it for regular season football or playoff football. But an open practice that's done for charity, for families, for a nice night out for kids, you're doing it to work the system like that? I got no respect for anybody that does that. But with Eagles Autism, it's a great time to remind you guys, I am running a fundraiser here for Eagles Autism Foundation. Okay, we've got 3 great raffle prizes that are autographed. This Eagles football signed by Cooper Dejean and Darius Slay. This framed A.J. Brown photo signed, autographed by A.J. Brown. And, of course, we've got an autographed Brandon Graham thing coming in soon. Don't have it behind me yet. $5 per raffle ticket. No limits on it. You can buy. 100% of the proceeds are going to Eagles Autism no matter what. Goal is $1,000. We'll see. My Venmo is right here. It's Phil Stiefel. That's how you send me money for your raffle tickets. We're pushing $400 in raised already. We're going to run this through the end of the month. And then on September 4th, we will do the raffle drawing before the Eagles-Cowboys game at about 7:30 right here on the channel. Again, there's my Venmo, $5 per raffle ticket for Eagles Autism Foundation. Check it out, guys. Would greatly appreciate it. Eagles team be a team so good they probably be keeping everyone healthy. Absolutely agree with you on that. I'm up at 5 a.m. every day. I do. I need my 7 to 8 hours of sleep, man. I need my 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I do. I have to. I can't answer. Not last night, the night before, I had a really bad night's sleep. I only got like 4 hours of sleep. A lot of tossing and turning. And I was grumpy as bleep yesterday because of that. Simmons ain't coming here. Did Brown going to be the dude? Sid Brown. I know what you meant there. I don't know if Sidney Brown's going to be the dude. I think Drew Makuba will be the dude eventually. I think they want it to be Drew Makuba and Sidney Brown next year because I don't know if they're going to sign Reed Blankenship to an extension. But, and Simmons, I've said it since last year. There's a reason why he wasn't even brought in last year. But there's an argument to be made if Drew Makuba plays well later this preseason, he can take that job. Vic Fangio has spoken very highly, very frequently about Tristan McCullum. And remember, last year, Tristan McCullum came in when there was injuries, not Sidney Brown. So I don't know if Sidney Brown's going to be the dude. I like the personality. I like that fiery, hard-hitting personality. But does it translate to Vic Fangio's system and what he needs to do? I don't know yet, Rick. And I don't think anybody knows that. Justin Simmons was never in the, he probably wasn't. Hates capitalism. No, come on now. Buying tickets, buying up a boatload of $10 tickets to a fundraising event and then reselling them for 6, 7, 8 times their value and pocketing that money and not donating that money, that's a load of horse shit. Okay? Come on. Is there any way to argue with what I just said? Well, I never said I wasn't, but, I can't wait to win. You're going to try. Hate the game, not the player. No, bullshit. I'm calling bullshit. Even though you're trying to joke about this, I think it's a little horse shit what people are doing with those tickets for the open practice. All right? You can joke all you want, K1, but I think it's a load of horse shit. I'm going to put my foot down on that one. Phil, wear your Che shirt. What? What's Che? What's up, Reality Check? Been a minute. Hope you're well. We're talking Eagles preseason football tonight. Drinking ruins of sleep. It might. 4 hours of sleep and I'm great. You're a psychotic man, Rick. We all know that already. I can't sleep or I can't survive on 4 hours of sleep. No freaking way. Reality is in the heezy. He is. I just bought more tickets. I don't like to lose. Well, again, you could win multiple prizes in theory. Okay, if you buy multiple tickets. I want to work where Big Al does. Yeah. Big Al selling his raffle tickets on the second. Stop. I don't find it funny. Reed might be signed just because he's Dejean's best friend on the team. We already complain about the Phillies signing people's best friends all the time. I think Reed Blankenship, I guess there's still an outside shot because he's not going to get some massive major contract. He's not going to sign for $30 or $40 million or anything like that. But then you have a plethora of safeties and with Drew Makuba, Sidney Brown, Tristan McCullum, and him going into the next year. No stars playing tonight. I mean, unless something new has come out, that hasn't been 100% confirmed. I'll refresh Twitter real quick. But the last I saw, they hadn't made anything official yet in that situation. But I don't see anything new yet. But I wouldn't expect any starters to play tonight. We just can't accept very good special teamers, can we? I can. I love a good special teamer. Special teams are important. Important part of the team. Special teams. Cherry's still getting $10. Absolutely. It's still, no. Donate that money to the charity. What's up, EC1? Going to the Rams versus Eagles this year. I'm super excited. Awesome. That's great. You get to see Jimmy Garoppolo get mopped the floor with by the Eagles defense, right? Because Matthew Stafford might never play again. Who knows what's going on with his back? If you know, you know. No. Phil only pretend he's not down with the revolution. Stop. Racketeering? Why did I see Rocketeer instead of racketeering there? Reed Blankenship must remain an Eagle regardless of whom Vic likes or the desire to instill Makuba. The bond Reed has with Cooper is vital on the team. that chemistry is vital. Chemistry is vital. But you got to remember, sports is a business. All right? Football's a business. Baseball is a business. Jonathan, we have complained far too often that the Phillies have signed and kept too many of Bryce Harper's favorite best friends. We've complained about it over and over again. But it's different for the Eagles? I don't know. I'm not saying I don't want Reed Blankenship. I'm saying using the reason to keep him as he's Cooper Dejean's buddy. I mean, they didn't keep Avonte Maddox this year, and he's best friends, and he was roommates for most of his time with Dallas Goedert. So I don't know if that's the reason. Now, if Sidney Brown, Andrew McCuba don't break out this year, then yeah, you got to keep them if you can get the price right. You also got a lot of other guys to pay. It is what it is. You mean Super Bowl contender, supposedly. Supposedly. Look, I'm actually, if Matthew Stafford is healthy, if Matthew Stafford plays a majority of the season, the Rams are Super Bowl contenders. They got a lot of talent on offense, a lot of talent on defense. There's, in my mind, they are definitely the Rams a Super Bowl contender, but it hinges on Matthew Stafford, because otherwise you're talking about Jimmy Garoppolo, and that ain't doing nothing. Guys, we've got 10 likes only on this video. That means a lot of you are not doing what you need to do and hitting that like button. There's only 12 votes on the poll. Keep it going. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, guys. Drew McCuba has a number of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson traits. Let's just hope he has a better attitude than Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. What? Jacob Sykes learn his name? Yeah. That's the best I could do. Who's he? Who's LA Knight? The guy that doesn't even get, on SummerSlam's thing? Yeah. Until they play us, then they exit team like last year. Yeah. Look, the Rams are going to have a big circle, okay, on that game. What is it, week 3, week 4? It's early in the season, right, I believe. They're going to have that circle. Of course they are. We knocked them out. They're going to blame the snow on why we knocked them out. They want their revenge. There's a lot of teams. There's a big bullseye on the Eagles every single week. The Eagles got to be ready. Now, I have full faith that they will be ready. But, man, big circle on the calendar. Rams mid. I mean, Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, Jarrett Verse. I mean, they have a good team. I don't care about names. I care about wins. It doesn't matter who plays. As long as the chips and wins keep coming. I mean, absolutely agree with you on this reality check. I mean, there's no doubt that, right? Who cares? We're not talking about individuals. We're talking about teams, right? And the Eagles are the best team because they play like a team. They live like a team. They act like a team. They practice like a team. Is that a yawn? Yeah, sometimes the emojis don't come out. That's a yawn. I like it. Story, we got something for them. Yeah. Look, not saying I'm worried. I'm just saying. I'm going to be at 10 a.m. for that circle game for the Rams. It's a home game. I can't remember the Eagles' schedule, to be honest with you. But sure, I got you. Bills have Dejean Cain again. Yeah, the track star there. That chemistry is business. Reed is a solid player, and him and Coop bringing energy for a team on D. Eagles brass must recognize that in connection. Well, Jonathan, I thought the deal would be done already. I thought Reed Blankenship would already have an extension with this Eagles team. And the only reason why I'm saying now that he might not be is because it's very rare. If you're part of the Eagles and Howie Roseman's long-term plans, he'll have you signed before you hit free agency. Very rarely do you get to the Reed Blankenship spot where he's basically a lame duck safety on this team. That is not how Howie Roseman operates. So I'm just using the last 5 years of knowledge of how Howie operates to determine that there's a chance that Reed's not here. That's really what I'm, plus the fact that they've got Drew McCuba and Sidney Brown and Tristan McCullum, who are getting a lot of work and a lot of hype from the coaches. That is why I'm taking things. I love Reed Blankenship. I love the connection. I think there's a chance Reed Blankenship is captain on this team this year if Cooper Dejean is not. But if he was going to be important, long term, Howie Roseman would already have him locked up to a long-term deal. Stafford a year older and he is starting the year hurt. I expect the Rams to regress this year. Yeah, if Matthew Stafford's hurt, if Matthew Stafford does, they keep saying that he's going to be ready for week 1. Obviously, that's hard to imagine. Hard to imagine at this point. But if Matthew Stafford can get himself close to 100%, they're going to be fine this year. But if he's banged up all year, if you're going to Jimmy Garoppolo all year, obviously they're going to regress. For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Jalen Carter did not just end their season. Jalen Carter ended Matthew Stafford's career. Jimmy Garoppolo's, until I looked up, I didn't even know Jimmy Garoppolo was still in the NFL. Jimmy Garoppolo's hung around with unbridled enthusiasm as a backup quarterback for like 47 years now. I really think I was still in high school when he started. And that was a long time ago. Hard Knocks sucked. Didn't watch it. Careful on using all of history to make your opinions. Okay, assessments, whatever. You see how bad Dallas looks? We got a whoop on them like disobedient kid acted out of line. Look, I can't wait for Dallas week 1. I it's kind of skirted on the radar. Jerry Jones is using it as a negotiating tactic because he thinks he's the greatest negotiator of all time. But he's saying that Micah Parsons most likely will not be ready to play week 1 of the NFL season against the Eagles. And you know what? I'm annoyed by that, okay? I love how Jerry Jones is screwing up the Micah Parsons situation, both contractually and also team vibe, locker room wise as well. But all that Micah Parsons, we go out and whoop up on the Cowboys week 1, 40-17, right? All of the nitwit Cowboys fans are going to say is, well, we didn't have Micah Parsons. That's why you won. Let us have Micah Parsons back for the next game, and we're going to whoop your ass. We're giving Cowboys fans, those cockroaches, an excuse to lose now. And I hate that. I don't want to give the Cowboys fans an excuse, but they're going to have one when he doesn't play. Linebacker would still be reprioritized had you done that. It's true. It's true. Howie does pivot. Howie does change. Howie has evolved a lot. Absolutely. And him paying a running back and then paying him more and then prioritizing linebacker? Yeah, you're right. You're not wrong on that. He has evolved. Jerry Wayne Bones. He's something. I don't know. Where are them bitches rooting Washington? What? Yeah, where are the Washington guys from yesterday? Just saying how we need to see the importance. Tristan ain't it. Well, Tristan has the confidence of Vic Fangio. Vic can like or love him. Doesn't mean it's right. Well, I mean, Vic is the one that makes that decision. So whether he likes him or not does matter because that's what Vic wants. Vic doesn't like Adoree Jackson, whom Howie liked. Yeah, and there's a chance that Adoree Jackson doesn't make this team. Why do you think they brought in Jacorian Bennett? Nah, Dak was out of there. What? Dak was out there, so that's why they can't know. No, they'll use an excuse. What are we eating tonight for the game? Well, I'll eat before the game, but I'll have my drink with me here. Rams also have a tough schedule. Non-division, they have to play the Ravens and Lions. 49ers also should bounce back and give them trouble. Yeah, look, I'm not saying it'll be a cakewalk for the Rams, but I predicted the Rams to make a deep run last year, too. And they started off slow, and everyone's like, oh, look, you were wrong. I'm like, be patient. They were hurt. The Rams were hurt a lot early last year. They got healthy, and they had enough talent on that team to make a push. Let's remember, that NFC West is a mixed bag of goods out there. The 49ers should bounce back, but how much? Purdy got paid. They lost Debo. Ayuk's hurt, I think, again. CMC, does he come back or not, like fully healthy? Who knows? Defense had some changes on it. The Cardinals, can Kyler Murray ever really turn into anything? Who knows? People want to think that Kyler Murray's good. We'll see. Seattle stinks. It's an easy division to win. A 10-7 season from the Rams easily wins that division. We know that. The success of this young defensive back group will fall on the pressure of this D-line. As long as the D-line keeps creating pressure, these young DBs should be able to jump quarterbacks' mistakes. That's the idea, at least. Yes. And that's, hand in hand. If you think about it, reality check, in 2022, we led the league. We almost broke the record all-time of sacks. But also James Bradbury and Darius Slay had all pro years that ended up getting them big contracts that were mistakes. The next year, the D-line wasn't as good in 23. And the flaws of Slay and James Bradbury got exposed. The D-line and DBs, they work hand in hand. And it's important that they work hand in hand. One succeeding makes the other one better. I could discern most of the autocorrect mistakes, for sure. Only 11 likes. I don't know what's going on today, Adam. We've had 14, 15, 16 people in this room all show long, and no one's hitting that like button. No one's voting on the poll. You guys are nuts. You're killing me. Mid Murray is mid. Look, I've always said that about Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray has a good season this year. Another year connection growing between him and Marvin Harrison. They paid Trey McBride, their tight end, a ton of money. James Conner is still a solid running back. But outside of that, I don't know what the Cardinals are. I don't know if Murray's good enough to take them into the playoffs ever. No doubt he's an athlete, but how good is Kyler Murray? He's good at best. Seattle has new staff and can catch a lot of folks by surprise. Absolutely. And what's his name? They got Sam Darnold, right? He kind of got just cast off out of Minnesota after a great year. So he's got a lot to prove. So yeah, they lost DK Metcalf, so that's a question. There's talent there. They're running backs. They got two solid running backs there. Sure. Walker and what's the other guy's name? Charbonnet or whatever. So there's talent there. Phil can make his own mistakes even without. I'm kind of shocked. You all saw the video promoting the fundraiser. I made a big mistake in that video, and it took till last night, Bill and Chet, to call me out on it. Okay, just so you know, it's a long time coming. It's been out there for 7 days. Only 2 people have caught the mistake in the video. I'm Orioles fan, respectfully. Sucks to be you. Sorry. All fan bases are welcome here. All fan bases. Is Gannon still coaching Arizona? Yes, he is. Absolutely. And he's doing an okay job. Not a great job, not a bad job. Sam Darnold needs ghost busting still. What? Look, I feel bad for Sam Darnold. Led the Vikings to 14 wins last year. And done. You don't know what J.J. McCarthy is, but we're going to go to J.J. McCarthy over the guy that just won 14 games. I'd be pretty pissed off. I'd have a massive chip on my shoulder. He's not elite, Sam Darnold. But if that's what happened to me, I'd have a massive chip on my shoulder. All right? We beat you last night. Yeah, we didn't play last night. We played during the daytime, so you beat us during the day yesterday. Details matter. Kevin O'Connell resurrected Darnold's career. He's trash. Having Justin Jefferson helps as well, right? Sam Darnold didn't have Justin Jefferson before. And who's he going to have out there in Seattle? I don't even know who's Seattle's top wide receiver now. Is it the rookie from last year? Because they got rid of DK Metcalf. Another Michigan deserter. I couldn't remember his exact name. Bills fans are not welcome there. Weak little bitches. Yep. The Vikings are known for that shit. Ask Case Keenum. Case Keenum. That's right. That's true. That's a good pull from you, Reality Check. It's a good pull. It's a very good pull from you. And Keenum got paid for it too, didn't he? He got paid for him, right? That's right. Cooper Kupp did go there. That's right. That is right. J.J. McCarthy tearing it up. Well, we'll find out. Kupp, JSN. Yeah, exactly. JSN, not JSM. JSN. I liked him in the draft. He was drafted last year, right? He was a rookie last year. I liked him in the draft. I knew the Eagles weren't going to draft a wide receiver, but I kind of dabbled with the idea because I thought he has some potential. He had some issues last year, but he had some good moments too. I usually back all Michigan players, but I'm thinking it takes McCarthy a bit of time. Absolutely. I'm going back to last year's draft, Nooms. I liked J.J. McCarthy. I liked Bo Nix. And I like Michael Penix better than the guys that went over in the top. I thought they had a better chance than the others to be successful. 2023. Gotcha. Gotcha. I knew it was recently. I just didn't know when. I think J.J. McCarthy has the potential to be it. But yeah, it's going to. It's going to help to have Justin Jefferson to throw that ball up to. J.J. McCarthy should play in the preseason. I'll tell you that. The mental component of mobility, injuries can be so tricky. Absolutely. For sure. People get happy feet very quickly in the quarterback position. My sneaky team this year is Denver. Bo Nix is like a dog, and I like what Denver's doing. And this, and you may be right here, reality check. Absolutely, right? But here's my problem with this comment, right? Everyone is assuming Jaden Daniels regresses this year. But not one person is assuming the same thing to Bo Nix. There's film on Jaden Daniels now. So he's going to regress in his sophomore year. There's film on Bo Nix. But Bo Nix is going to be great. Make that one make sense to me. Because if you think Daniels is going to regress, you better think the same thing about Bo Nix. Now, I agree. I think Denver's going to be a sneaky team. They're definitely a playoff team. If Kansas City slips up, they could win that division for sure. But I still got to go with Kansas City. Buffalo crushed Knicks. Yeah. I mean, he was a rookie. Was drafted. Remember, Brad Berry got smoked by him and Drew Lock. I do not remember that. Jaden is great. I think he's going to have a great year. So I know what you meant, sneaky. But to do that, Bo Nix has to have a great year, right? It's something that's been irking me all offseason. Everyone keeps saying, and I keep telling them, the Commanders are going to be a good football team. They're going to push the Eagles for the division, no doubt. It's going to come down to those two games, week 16 and 18. Oh, no. Jaden Daniels is going to regress this year because he's a sophomore player. Well, Bo Nix is a sophomore player too. And everything they say about Jaden Daniels could be applied to Bo Nix. Now, I was a huge Bo Nix fan coming out in the draft. And I was not shocked he had a good season. All right? And I don't think he's going to regress this year. Just like I don't think Jaden Daniels is going to regress. It's not like Sean Payton and Kevin O'Connell forgot how to coach football, you know. Look, that's a good point. I mean, Sean Payton is his coach. If anybody's going to beat Kansas City this year in that division, it's going to be the Broncos. A decent year. Look, I gotcha. Daniels, I worry about his health. He doesn't protect himself, and the Commies O-line. All right. Yes, the Commies O-line has issues. Now, they did invest in it a lot this offseason in older players, but they did invest. And Daniels doesn't protect himself, and I get that. But he's got a whole year to learn. He had a whole offseason to figure it out. He's been working on it. Players don't just magically regress. Sometimes they spend time like Jalen Hurts in the offseason and get better. How about that? Well, how about maybe Jaden Daniels spent the offseason learning how to protect himself and being a better quarterback. They're always a sophomore slump a little, or Knicks can have a Wentz year too. We'll see. Well, let's hope he doesn't have a Wentz year too. Okay. No. Are you doing fantasy this year? No, I don't do fantasy football anymore. I don't. I am not a fantasy football player anymore. I find it very boring, especially season long. If I do a season long, it'll be a best ball on DraftKings. And that's it. Where you draft your lineup and you just leave it alone until the end of the year. I prefer the DFS aspect. And even that I don't do a lot of. My money goes to golf and football betting. What's up, Marshall? I shot you out like 4 times. Where were you to say, line that shit up? I don't care that it's a preseason game. Scary Terry, who's he going to be catching passes from? Jaden Daniels? Or somebody else? In another city? Who knows? I love watching Washington and Dallas crumble before our very eyes. Drama. Love it. C.J. Stroud regressed a bunch last year. Did he regress last year, Anthony? Or did his top wide receiver get hurt for a big portion of the year? Did his offensive line lead the league in penalties last year? Did they also get injured? C.J. Stroud still won his division, still won 10 games last year, all right, with a massive amount of injuries on that team and issues. I don't know if C.J. Stroud regressed as much as the team regressed around him. Wentz had a senior slump and it never stopped. Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point. Fantasy football equals boring. Golf betting is better. Absolutely agree. Taking fantasy football out of the equation has made watching football on Sundays so much more enjoyable. It really has. Yeah, I'll throw $1 here or there on a lineup on DraftKings, and that's it. So much more stressless. Not worrying about my fantasy football team. Wentz 2017 was an aberration. I wish that wasn't true. I don't know. 2019 He had a pretty fucking phenomenal season in 2019, carrying that team with 2 practice squatters and Greg Ward and Boston Scott to the playoffs. I was at that Giants, was it Sunday night or Monday night football game in December where it was like sleeting rain, and he put that team on his back to lead that comeback. He had a really good 2019. And I think if he doesn't get concussed by that nitwit Jadeveon Clowney, that maybe we make a run to the deep in the playoffs in 2019. Look, I always have good points. Daniels could be MVP this year, but if this team is not good enough to beat us, then what does it mean for the Commies? Exactly. I think Jane Daniels is going to perform. Jane Daniels can have the C.J. Stroud slump this year, but it's going to be because that Deebo Samuels gets hurt. Zach Ertz is old. That Laramie Tunsil can't stay healthy. That Terry McLaurin gets traded, and they don't have an answer for that. His success this year relies on the fact that they have I think I saw they have the oldest roster in football this year. Average age. The Eagles have like the second or third youngest roster. The Commanders have the oldest roster. You got a young quarterback with a bunch of senior citizens, AARP guys. That's the question there. That's right. Line that shit up. It's my favorite line you say regularly. Wentz was awesome until Clowney brained him. We forget how bad his wide receiver. Absolutely. And I still go back to all concussions are bad. But you know when they're really bad? When it makes you spontaneously cry out of nowhere. And I remember reading the reports that after that concussion, that there were moments throughout the rest of that day and that the weeks follow where he would just randomly start breaking out in tears for no reason because the concussion was so bad. He had happy feet, but that gave him like real happy feet. It ruined his career. AFC West, the senior citizen head coach of the NFL, all 4 need to retire, especially Pete and Andy. I don't know. Andy Reid's still a really damn good coach. I got to sign up soon for service to watch game. Please do. Please injure what? No, we don't injure nobody. We don't injure anybody. We don't pray for injuries. We never do that. Never. Wentz did elevate the play of wide receivers like Travis Fulgham, Dante Bennett, Greg Ward. It's absolutely. No, we put Greg Ward on our practice squad every year. Nobody ever took him. So everybody knew Greg Ward wasn't a good wide receiver. But he and Carson Wentz had a connection. Travis Fulgham failed with Aaron Rodgers, failed with Matthew Stafford, came here and succeeded for 4 weeks with Carson Wentz. Now, he wasn't mentally mature enough to play in the NFL as well. The difference between us and the commies, when the Eagles knew Hurts was the guy, they moved heaven and earth to get him all the resources to win. Marshawn, this is a great comment right here. It's like, who said it? Some media member, I think it was Manti Te'o said it. The Eagles have a Ferrari. They're not trying to drive it off-road. If you buy a Hummer, you take it off-road. A Jeep, you take it off-road. But when you buy a Ferrari, you drive it a certain way. Using your elite tool in a successful way is what you do. Building around that successful tool. If you have a Ferrari, but you don't got tires on it, what good is it? I know someone that's got a fancy Mustang, and the tires are rotted on it. Josh Harris, I try to tell Rep the District and other Commanders fans all the time, y'all love Josh Harris, but you're going to realize really soon why we do not like Josh Harris in this city. Looking at Wentz's stats, my God, he was terrible in 2020. Oh, he was god-awful in 2020. But how much of that was the interception or the concussion affecting him? In Minecraft, it's a game. I know what Minecraft is, but who you think will be the team in the AFC to make it to the Super Bowl? I mean, it's too soon for me to tell. I mean, it's the Chiefs, it's the Bills, the Ravens, the Bengals. They're the best teams. The Broncos have an outside shot for sure, in my opinion. An outside shot, we'll say. Maybe there's a Houston Texans revival. I don't even know what they did this offseason, but I think it's going to be the same players in the AFC. The Chiefs, the Bengals, the Bills, the Ravens. They're the teams to beat. What's up, Mean Metal Mike? How you doing today? Phillies still can't sweep a series. Yeah, I mean, they've had 14 times or 15 times this year. They've won the first 2 games of a series, and they've only completed the sweep 5 times. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Kind of weird. Howie didn't get old players to surround Hurts. They moved up to draft Smitty. They traded for AJ, then signed 27-year-old running back with a front-loaded contract. Yeah, look, they prioritized the offensive line. They drafted Jason Kelsey's replacement before he moved. You know, they drafted his replacement twice, actually. One of his replacements just turned into the best left guard in football. Howie's always thinking, how can I win the Super Bowl this year, right? But Howie's in the position to think about winning the Super Bowl every year because he's also thinking about 3 years from now, 4 years from now. He's always got this year and the future on his mind. And when that future comes, he's like, well, I've built this team over the last couple of years. How can I add a Saquon Barkley to get us over the top? But while he's doing that, he's also thinking about 3 years from now. And it's how Howie thinks now is so next level. Josh Harris got DC to finance his new stadium. Now fans will find out how much he cares about. Exactly. It was all about the new stadium. Same thing with the Sixers, right? Everything he does with the Sixers was just to get a new stadium. I really wanted to say Denver, but I will say that the Ravens finally get over the hump and Lamar finally make it to the Super Bowl and just gets knocked down by Jalen Carter in the Super Bowl, right? Line that shit up and knock it down, Anthony. But I could see that, Anthony, the Ravens being the team. Yes, but I also believe 2019 with Fulgham and them, that was a favoritism year because we had two wide receivers taking up $20 million and not playing to health. Then we bench our guys for Djax and Jeffries. I'm torn. Yeah, but Carson Wentz still played really well that year. Josh Harris is a disaster for Philadelphia, and he knows it. He has to know it. Yeah. The Commanders fans don't know it. Ready for Penn State football, another chance to get a national championship. Another chance for you to be disappointed that you don't get a national championship. I guess that's the way I would look at it, Mean Metal Mike. Like, I'm not a huge college football fan, especially not Penn State. I didn't go to Penn State. I know that Penn State's one of the favorites this year. I do know that. I saw some anonymous bettor place like $100,000 bet on them winning the national championship. I don't know. I know they've got a good quarterback. They got two good running backs. They always have great defense. The thing is Franklin, their head coach. I mean, if you talk to any Penn State fan out there, most of them will tell you their biggest concern is it Tony Franklin, Troy Franklin, Ken Franklin? I don't know his name. Mike Franklin. Franklin is not going to be able to get them over the hump. Howie's Super Bowl is the offseason and trade deadline. Yeah, I mean, he loves working those phones. He loves working the deals. Guys, if you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe. By the way, guys, I'll be live tonight. About 7:20, 7:25. I'm going to be live for the entirety of the preseason game tonight. You can come hang out, grab some food, grab some drinks. We'll chit-chat. We'll watch the game together. So make sure you set your alarms and set your notifications to come right back here to this channel tonight at 7:30 to watch the football game with me. I can see Martin being in his first promo telling the group to line that shit up. Nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with lining that shit up. Line it up and knock it down. Why not, right? Why not? That is what we do. We did gain a new subscriber today. We're up to 564, which I like to see. We're up to 13 likes on the video now. Still, some of you are watching and haven't hit that like button, though. I love Penn State. Go to the blue and white game every year. Like, I'm not a huge football game, but if I could go to any sporting event, like if I would power rank the sporting events I want to see in my life, the Masters round 4 would be on that list. Going to Wimbledon for the finals, sitting in center court on the list. Going to a blue and white game would be in my top 10 sporting events I haven't done that I would like to do. And that's a good list to put together. It's a good list to put together. I'm going to put that together today. Top 10 events to attend. I would absolutely love to go to a blue and white game. Do I think the Flyers make more noise this upcoming season? More noise in what sense? I have expectations the Flyers make the playoffs this year. I do. I got to see what Mitchkoff season 2 is like. I need to see Mitchkoff take it to the next level this year. All right? I still have massive concerns with the goalie situation. And no, I do not want Carter Hart back. All right? And no, I don't think Carter Hart would want to come back anyway. The goalie situation can be managed enough where they could probably make the playoffs. Do I think Rick Tockett's the right coach? I'm torn. It's a big year, though, okay, for the Flyers. They need to make the playoffs to grab this city back. And let me tell you something. It's a big season for the Flyers because the Sixers are going to be so goddamn bad, Mike, that the attention could shift back to the Flyers in the city for a little bit. And if they play well enough, the Flyers can kind of overtake the Sixers to an extent in the conversation. Where the hell is, I don't know, Duck's taking the day off. It's all good. Sometimes Duck watches and just sits in the background. It's okay. Everybody's due for a day off. Even me. I'll probably take tomorrow morning off. I mean, I'm going to be up till late tonight. So I might have to take tomorrow morning off. Actually, I do. I have a big catering order tomorrow morning. I got like 55 pizzas to make tomorrow morning. So, yeah, I'll definitely be taking tomorrow morning off. But we'll be live tonight. The Flyers will make more noise. The more booze, hopefully I'm wrong. Nah, I think the Flyers will be better. How better? I don't know. Do Eagles have oldest stadium after Bills' new one done? I have no idea. No clue. The Eagles Stadium is about 25 years old, 26 years old, 24, somewhere in that range. I don't know if that's the oldest stadium or not. There is talk of building a new stadium in Philly. I don't know if they will or not, or just make renovations to the current one. Saw some report they want to put the new stadium. You wouldn't know where this is, but where the Franklin Mills Mall used to be. Doesn't matter to me. It might be a Boomer Stadium. Might not be, but it's still one of the best stadiums in the league. It's state-of-the-art still, okay? It's a great stadium for that. Funny how Jerry still won't sign Micah. That organization is a joke. Well, I mean, we've been talking about it all week, Mike, for 2 weeks now. Long live Jerry Jones. If I had 3 wishes, if I found a genie in a bottle, and I had 3 wishes, Jerry Jones, living forever and running the Cowboys forever would be one of my 3 wishes. I'm writing that one down. 3 wishes. That's a good one. I don't know where that came from. If I had a genie and I got 3 wishes, Jerry Jones living forever would 100% be on it. I visit Philly enough. Good. And you never come say hello? Hey, man, I'm with you. I got a list of places to see, and I get to mark my number 1 November 10th when I go to Lambeau Field. I don't know if Lambeau Field would be on. If I had to pick a random sports stadium that I'd want to go to just to see any, not a Philly event, I think Wrigley Field would be my number 1 on that list. I just want to see a day game, sit out in the bleachers at Wrigley Field. For me, baseball holds a closer part of my heart. Like I'm a raging football fan, but my heart is always baseball. So I think Wrigley would be that. Football-wise, I guess Lambeau would be it. I wouldn't mind going to a Bills Mafia game. I don't know if that would overtake Lambeau or not. I have to think about football fields. Yeah, obviously. And the Bears' new stadium hasn't opened yet either, so Soldier Field is still there, right? So, yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what other stadiums, if I had to pick it. Like, I'm more thinking about events. I guess a baseball game is an event, so yeah, going to Wrigley would probably make the list. And one of the things on my list, potentially I could go see next year, I've always wanted to do a home run derby in person. In theory, I could do that. I might be too broke for that, but we'll see. Anyway, we're coming up on the final 10 minutes. We got Eagles preseason football tonight. Final opportunities for me to tell you, or for you to tell me, which players you're most excited to watch tonight on the field. We know Jalen Hurts ain't going to play. A.J. Brown ain't going to play. But what about everybody else? Who are you looking forward to seeing in action tonight? You got 10 minutes to get that out. And your concern level with Zack Wheeler, who's got an arm soreness, clean MRI. Right now, 38% of you voted mildly concerned, 38% voted he's fine, 15% said very concerned, and 8% of you voted you worry too much, Phil. What was the vet like I grew up going to? I have so many fond memories of going to the vet. Mike, I'm an older man. First off, I have the memories of the vet because I went with my dad so many times to Phillies games. And back in the 80s, you can get tickets in the upper 700 level for like $5 on a Sunday. And then they would just sit wherever you want. And then by the 7th inning, you were all the way down the lower level because no one went. And we would do that. Back in the day, you can afford to take a family. There were 5 Stiefel kids. My dad could take us all to a game. You could bring in a cooler or a bag with snacks. And you could afford to take a family to a game back then. I have so many fond memories at the vet. It was a shithole. It was dirty. It was nasty. It smelled. But it was my dirty, nasty, smelly home. And I got so many memories as a child. So while the vet was a shithole, holds a special place in my heart. The vet was legendary. Got to see so many legends play on that field. Exactly. And I got to see legends perform. I always say the greatest concert I ever went to, and I've seen Dave Matthews in concert a dozen times probably, maybe more, not in a long time, but I was a typical white college boy growing up in the 90s. I went to a lot of Dave Matthews concerts. What can I say? Dave Matthews, weed, college, 90s, yeah, whatever. But there was a concert I saw at the vet. I think it was 99 or 2000. It was Dave Matthews, okay? But the 2 opening acts were Santana and the Roots. And then after the show, they did an encore with everybody on stage. The Roots drummer going at it one-on-one with Carter Buford. You had Santana out there, the whole group. And it was the most amazing encore I've ever seen in my life. The vet was the best experience ever. My seats were in section 751. Chaos every game. Yep. The vet was the ghetto. But you know what? It was our ghetto. Okay? It was our ghetto. Mike Schmidt, I saw him. My first Phillies game was in 1986. John Kruk. All of them. Spectrum is greater than the vet. Saw my first Flyers games there, for sure. That is what. Exactly. I hate Dane Cook. He was awful. So overrated. I've been to the Spectrum for a Phantoms game. Yeah, I did. I got to go on the ice for a Phantoms game once for my job. But let me tell you something. Yeah. Never saw Dane Cook. I always found him so overrated. But it is so white. Dave Matthews, weed, and going to tailgate concerts. I mean, there's probably, yeah, absolutely. That's why they brought in the Roots and Santana to bring in a different crowd for those concerts, right? Isn't that what it was? When I heard in the encore them do Watchtower, all along the Watchtower, with Santana playing the electric guitar, Dave Matthews doing his thing, the Roots doing their thing. I went out and found, there used to be this place in Philly by Drexel when I went there. They sold, import, basically knockoff CDs, and someone had that concert recorded, and I got it. Oh, my God. I played that thing so many times back when I had a CD player. I don't have a CD player. Who does anymore? Anyway, so other guys we're looking for, any other battles we're looking for tonight, again, make sure you're live here. We'll be talking all night long as we watch the game, play-by-play, coverage of the game here. I'm looking forward to doing the first live game of the year here. This is the year. I'm going to try my best to go live for every single Eagles game this year. That's why you got to tell your friends about this place. Everybody, like, share, subscribe. My first concert was Grateful Dead at JFK when I was 14. There's nothing like it. I think my first concert was actually a Y100 festival. I went to all the Y100 festivals starting from 95 or 96 on. My first single concert was probably a Dave Matthews concert. I've seen Dave Matthews more than anyone. Next was Billy Joel, Elton John. Seen Van Morrison a handful of times. But I went to all the Y100 festivals. They were the time. Back when Y100 was still a thing, Y100 was the jam. I loved Y100. I was there for the very last game in the vet. They were literally letting people buy their seats. Yeah, I have a piece of vet turf somewhere buried away. My brother went and ripped a piece up for me. So I have that vet turf somewhere. It was a ghetto. It was a shithole. It was our ghetto. It was our shithole. I bet you the StreamYard makes that into a short today. It is what it is. Anyway, I'm out. I'm good for today. So it's up to you guys. Well, you guys got 5 more minutes of value with me here today. If there's anything else you want to talk about, now's the time to talk about it. Because let me tell you, tonight when we get back, there's no Flyers talk, no offense, Mike, tonight. It's all Eagles tonight. Like, share, subscribe, do those things. Phillies off today, thank God. I don't have to have my attention split tonight. 3 wishes. Jerry Jones lives forever. Hard Knocks was a fluff piece. I haven't watched it in a long time, Hard Knocks. I will be sucked back in because the Eagles will be on the in-season Hard Knocks. I do have HBO now on my TV, so maybe I will tune into Hard Knocks eventually and watch a few episodes in a row. We'll see this weekend. Have a great day. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate having you back. It's football season, Reality Check. We're back at football. Preseason football. But I don't care. Line that shit up. That's all I care about. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up right there. You guys have a great day. I'll be back tonight. We got several hour stream tonight coming. Starting about, I have it set to 7:20. Might go a little longer, might go a little bit less. But guys, again, real quick before I get out of here, don't forget about the fundraiser I'm doing. Eagles Autism Foundation, $5 raffle tickets. Okay, I'm raffling off this Cooper Dejean Darius Slay signed football, this A.J. Brown framed photo being raffled off, and there's going to be a Brandon Graham item getting raffled off as well. How do you purchase the raffle tickets? You Venmo me $5 per ticket. There's my Venmo information right there. We'll raffle these prizes off before the Eagles take on the Cowboys September 4th. So, guys, get your raffle tickets purchased. Would greatly, greatly appreciate you all contributing or considering to make a donation for sure. Anyway, with that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap it up, get myself to work so I can get home to do the game tonight. If you haven't, like, share, subscribe. Live tonight, 7:20, 7:25, depending. To watch some football, guys, come back, please. Have a great day. Go Birds. Line that shit up. And bubbles up.